the nation Biafra, so that if the nation calls you tomorrow, you don't need to say, I don't know how to shoot a gun, I don't know how to do this or do that, but you will be ready and of course to serve your nation. That is also the kind of Biafra I want. Let me go back to Skype. I mean, there's quite a lot of calls coming in this morning. Biafrans want a lot of things, but like I said, it is not about what your country will do for you, but what you will do for your country. I mean, Kennedy said so, and I do concur. Before I go to Skype, and our time is running off, I need to make way for my colleague. I don't know, Tari, if he's coming up this morning, but of course he will let me know as soon as possible. All right. If I go back to Facebook Live, our people are saying things, and of course, I will let their voice be heard because that is what we are here for. All right. Nancy Nnabuike says, all I want is a holy nation. Ejele mo ala Biafra walanso. Nemo. My goodness me. All right. He wants a holy nation, a Biafra where nudity will be abolished, a Biafra where everyone will be equal in the eyes of the law, a spiritual and technologically driven nation. God bless Biafra. Thank you very much, Nancy Nnabuike, for that. Of course, Caroline Ogumike said, I want a Biafra where reasonable culture is practiced and norms maintained. All right. Dman Mado said, I want a Biafra where we will respect the views of Ezawo, Ijele, and Wokedi. You are crazy. I must tell you that you are indeed crazy. Of course, you know, all those baby saboteurs in our midst. I want a Biafra where all of you will be put together and brought in the public place and killed by firing squad. That should be the sweet medicine for every saboteur, because the highest sin, the greatest sin of them all is betrayal. Because if you read the Bible, you will hear the stories of people like Korah and Abiram. When they fought against Moses, it was instant justice. The ground opened and swallowed them. And that shows you that God, Elohim, abhors betrayal. Elohim abhors saboteurs. And the same shall be done to the enemies of Biafrans, to the enemies of our people. All right, let's see, of course, what we got here on Facebook Live. Kelechi Leoprin Uzodike said, all I ever want is peace and justice for the common man. My goodness me, my brother, I am with you on this one. Big time. Equal right and justice. That's what Bob Marley said. And that is what we are going to have in this Biafra we are building. Biafra is like the new Jerusalem that Elohim is going to throw down from heaven. A Jerusalem that will be the tower and of course the lighthouse of Africa. The power and the mantle of the common man. All right. My goodness me. Mazi. He said, I need a Biafran free of any sort of molestation. In Europe here, if cat sees mouse, oboro gene erimeri. And that is not the kind of Biafra we want. I agree with you, Mazi. We want a Biafra that cat and mouse will be eating together, like I saw in Israel, live and direct. You can ask our sister Rachel Mosi. She will tell you, rat and mouse, they eat together. Have you ever seen that before? Well, it's possible. Do you know what makes that happen? Abundance of food, abundance of needs. When there is poverty, when there is hunger, people eat each other. All right, we must continue. It is Radio Biafra SADEB. We are almost reaching to the end of this program, and I must tell you, I have a lot of people holding who wants to tell me the type of Biafra they want. I've told you the type of Biafra I want. Our leader Mazi NNAMDI'S Kanu have told you also the type of Biafra he wants. The question now is, the people are the power, and power belongs to the people. What type of Biafra do you want this morning? Anicha Uchenna, John Williams said, I want a Biafra where we can have a fair playground. Omeka Ken said, I want a Biafra where government will control childbirth. A Biafra where government will provide an enable environment for business to improve, electricity, good road, good hospital, good school, and people's rights. My goodness me. All right, we must continue. Let me go to Skype because I don't want to ignore other people. I want to get everybody inclusive because that is what we're talking about. When we talk about Biafra, we're talking about inclusive. Inclusive. We include people in the decision making of the country. It's not going to be a cabal where 1 or 2, 3 people makes decision for the rest. No, it's going to be every time we cannot agree, we vote. And majority carries the vote. All right, caller on Skype. Can you hear me, Mazi? Caller on Skype. Please your names and then you tell me the kind of Biafra you want. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mazi, good afternoon from Warsaw, Poland. I remember Mazi Ekroneke. And Mazi, the last one you read is me, Mazi Ekroneke. You know, typical it wrote Ekroneke.
Oh, my Ketabire. Oh, my Ketabire. Him now, broso. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mazi, we appreciate you for what you're coming online today.
Thank you very much.
Our UGM fanatical men of all over the world, we appreciate you. Mazi, there are 3 things Onyendu said, which is very, very important. Mazi, do you remember that Onyendu said, this Biafra we are looking for, we will build it for how many years? 72 good
Absolutely.
years.
Absolutely.
Bravo. Now, and Mazi, he told us that this Biafra is the last miracle on earth, true or false.
You're on point, my brother. You're on point.
And he equally said again, every sabotage you will be executed in the nearest tree near your house. Like that idiot that say he's talking about Ijele. All of them will be executed in the nearest tree. So, Mazi, when you look at these 3 things, 72 years, a nation will be for 72 years, and the last miracle on earth. Then is a place to behold. And that's why we are fighting, free of any type of molestation. If you commit a crime, you answer for it. Simple as that. So Biafra is another place that our young men will not go on the bush again. These are the most no idiot anyway. The only thing we are talking is the Biafra we need is Biafra free as free as air, like we are here in Europe. And lest you forget, Ben said something. Mazi, in Greek, I've lived in Greece for 10 years. Mazi, before. Mazi, in Greece, when you are 18 years, it's a must. You must go to the army.
Absolutely. Even in Israel. In Israel, it's the same thing.
Yeah. And here in Europe, as you talk, Mazi, if a man sees a rat outside now, or so this is what we want in our Biafra land. Biafra where there be surplus of everything. Whatever you
wait, Mazi, you say that when Mazi, just hold on a second. You say that when man sees rat in Europe, they eat it, right?
So,
but have you forgotten? Have you forgotten that is how it used to be in Biafra land? Are we really okay? Is you okay? You go here.
We are 68 now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I won't die money, man. Don't I want to shock you? All I'm gonna them right. But we thank God we survived.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Of course, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. I mean, people need to understand that our minds are made up. People need to understand what we are meant for. People need to understand that we have crossed the Rubicon. And of course, turning back is not an option. Biafra is what we want, and Biafra is what we will have. I will take a couple of calls now, and then we will begin to summarize. The Biafra we want, the Biafra of our ancestors, a Biafra where all man shall be equal before the eyes of the law, a Biafra where you will get an office on merit, and not because of who you know, and not because of whom you are or whom you have in the government. We will make Biafra our office bearers. I'm talking about the government office bearer. You know, you will not even want to apply, because it will not be so attractive in terms of money. Because when you look at how much you are going to be paid to serve the people, you will not want to, unless it is in you to work for your people. Unless it is in you to work for your people. Because this is why you have corruption all around the world, because people go to politics, because in their mind, they have that nasty thinking of how to make money, how to steal public fund. But in Biafra, when you see government work published in the newspapers, you won't even apply unless you are the right man made for that job. All right, let me read this. Our brother said something about religion here. Anna Yola said, I also want a Biafra where every religion will be practiced in Biafra. If you're a Muslim, Christian, Jews, and so on. In Biafra land, you must practice it with your local language, and our good ways of life will have influence in those religions. That's what he said, because we need to also practice religious intolerance. We need to tolerate. We cannot antagonize other religion. If you are practicing whatever religion you are practicing, as long as you are doing it the right way, as long as you are doing it, with inhumane, a good mindset, I beg your pardon, you will be allowed to practice that religion in Biafra land. All right, let me see. I think I've got a caller on the line. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Hey, good morning.
Yes,
Mazi,
good morning.
Ikechukwu.
Good morning.
My name is Simon. I am calling from Ameria, Spain. Simon is from Onuoka.
Mazi Simon.
Onuoka is in Olo.
Mazi Simon, before you go ahead, I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something very important before you go ahead. Can you hear me? Mazi Simon, what kind of Biafra would we give you to make you come back from Spain? Please tell me.
Bam. The kind of Biafra I want is where the life of the citizen will matter first. Where there will be no pothole, no darkness, no sickness, no malaria. The kingdom of God on earth, we can do it, we can build it. That is what most of us went out to learn. A place where education will be a very serious project for us. Where people will not die because they're...
All right, I'm losing you, Mazi. Can you hear me? Mazi Simon, all the way from Ameria, Spain. I'm still listening, taking notes of what I need to do to ensure that you leave Spain and come back to that holy land of Biafra. And it all starts today. What type of Biafra do you want? Please go ahead, Mazi.
Sorry. You can't cheat the nature. Do you know where I'm just crossing now, and where the point I am now in the world is that the joint connection between Spain and Africa, that point of that Mediterranean Sea, the open place, that is where I am. That is why the network cut off. Mazi, the kind of Biafra I want is this. Where the people that fought for the land will be respected. Where we will value our heroes. Where we will value our pensioners. Where we will value our teachers. Where we will have good life. As Chukwu Okike Abiyama promised us, like as our leader said, Biafra is the kingdom of earth on God, on earth, and we'll have to build it in 72 years. But as the technology is going now, and most of us that have seen where it has happened before, we can do it earlier than that. How long does it take Dubai to be built? Some of them are my classmates. I know most of them study in Russia. And a place where people will serve the country. What we gonna give and do for the country should be our priority. That's the kind of Biafra I want. Mazi, thank you for this topic this morning. Biafra will be restored. All hail Biafra. Sign off from here.
Thank you, Mazi. And of course, you've heard my brother. I asked him a question. What is it that should be done for him to come back from Spain to inhabit that land that flows with milk and honey? And he have just told us that. And I can assure you, my brother, as Elohim liveth, we shall have that Biafra. That I can tell you. All right, I have a caller who has been waiting so long on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, thank you for holding.
Good morning. My name is Dennis. I'm calling from Italy.
Mazi, what can be done for you to leave Italy and come back home for good? Tell me the type of Biafra you want.
Mazi, the kind of Biafra I want is the kind of Biafra that everybody will be a law-abiding citizen. And discipline. We will have to be disciplined. That is the key. And secondly, the kind of Biafra I want is the kind of Biafra we will start using it with constant electricity. Especially because constant electricity is the key to development. Because when there is constant electricity, people that are talented, they will see light to display what they know, and there will be also be a kind of security, because so many people that have businesses, they would like to put this all the cameras on their shop, video shop. So if anything evil happen, or maybe there's broken or empty or something, we don't even need police to investigate and start. Telling us what happened. Individuals can easily, understand where I'm going to.
Absolutely.
So that is the kind of Biafra I want. We have to start giving it constant electricity before every other. And secondly, the kind of Biafra I want is the kind of Biafra. I don't want the kind of Biafra that when they want to build roads, for example, they will give the contract to one particular person. They say, "I'll give you 100 million, take care of this road." No, it's the government that will take care of those things. When you have to write a curriculum as a supervisor, the government will be paying you. After removing their tax, they will pay you. If you want to drive Caterpillar, you write curriculum. You drive the Caterpillar, then they will pay you directly. You know that when they give you the whole money as a contractor, you now take the one, anything you like, any material you like to build the road, build nonsense. At the end of the day, you need the money. I don't want that kind of Biafra. One kind of Biafra, when they want to supply anything, any material, it will come from the government, the Biafran government. You understand me? To build most of those things, they will only pay you your supervising money or whatever.
All right.
That's kind of Biafra I want.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Ndewo, thank you. In case if you don't know, our brother is talking about tender process. A good tender process. When the government wants to give out a contract, it should be published in the dailies, in the media, and then, capable hands will apply. And then, of course, there will be a tender process that needs to be followed so that the right candidate will get the contract. Not the contract that is done in the middle of the night. You give to your families and friends. Here in South Africa, some ministers are being prosecuted because they gave contract to their family member. The current Minister of Health in South Africa, Mr. Zweli Mkhize, right? Yes, he just resigned, or rather he was actually put on a compulsory leave in order for them to investigate, because do you know what he did? He was being accused, allegedly, that he awarded contract to his family member. He opened a company, of course, and that is conflict of interest. That is the kind of Biafra we want, and that is exactly what our brother is talking here. Before I go to the last caller for today, because our time is up, and yet the lines are flashing. My goodness me, if you allow me, I will stay here till tomorrow, because when we talk about Biafra and the type of Biafra we want, it's a beacon of hope. It reminds us that all this effort is not in vain. It reminds us that at the end of the tunnel there is a light. It reminds us that upon all this killing, upon all this humiliation, upon all this mutility, upon all this destruction and mayhem upon our lives and our family, there is a trophy. And that trophy is the Biafra that we want. All right. Going back here on Facebook Live, I saw something that actually caught my attention. And I will tell you why it caught my attention. Our brother said, and I'm talking Wilson on stay. Biafra I want is Biafra where you will, listen to this. Listen, this is very, very important. I will tell you. Biafra I want is a Biafra where you will walk 5 to 10 minutes. You will get school, hospital, police station, bank. Biafra will be great database. Biafra with great database, I beg your pardon. Now, let me explain to you if you don't understand what our brother is saying. Here in South Africa, if I walk down here, it's not even 5 minutes. What is 5 minutes? If I walk down here just for 1 minute or 2 minutes, there is a bank. Around the corner as well, just like our brother said, you will see hospital. Police station is around the corner. That is how it is done in every developed world. You know, one of the least place we have here in South Africa, you know, we call it Hebrew, and, you know, people like look down on it. That Hebrew you see is even bigger than Abuja. It's better than Abuja. I would rather live in Hebrew than live in Abuja. Do you know why we live in Hebrew? Because in Hebrew, there is water, there is electricity, there is good road, there is ATM machine around the corner, there is filling station, there is hospital, there is police station. Everything, there is shop. I'm talking about, you see this big mall people go to in the zoo and they take pictures, they take selfie and post it on social media to show the whole world their stupidity. Nobody takes a picture and selfie in a mall. I mean, it is not fashionable. But in the zoo, it is fashionable because they have never seen something like that in their miserable life before. I mean, here in South Africa, it's everywhere to go to the mall. But it's a big deal to go to the mall in the zoo. So, our brother knows what he's talking about, and I do concur. What makes a big city is not the building, it's not the skyscraper. What makes a big city is the amenities, is the things that helps life, the essential need of citizens. That's what makes a big city. That's what makes a big country. And that is exactly what we are going to have in Biafra. Omeka Agu can say, the kind of Biafra I also want is here in our school. They will use our local language to teach us mathematics. English is hard. That's why many people dislike mathematics like me. I always get mathematics 0. I remember when I was still in school, during the day we were closing, my maths teacher brought me out to the assembly. He beat the hell out of me because I scored 0 in mathematics. And I don't want that. I want a Biafra where I will be taught mathematics in Igbo language, my own home language, where we will be taught in our different language, Yoruba, Itsekiri, any language you speak in Biafra, you know, they will teach you mathematics in that language. I do concur. Here in South Africa, we are studying law. The law we are studying in South Africa is written in 2 languages, English and Afrikaans. At the end of the day, the Afrikaans students, which are whites here, they get upper hand because they get taught, you know, the subject or the model in their own language, and people are now fighting against it and say, if you're going to teach the white people here in Afrikaans, you must equally teach also every, you know, dialects here in South Africa in their own language. It is very important so that our history would not, you know, be destroyed. Right now, I'm going to go and take this call, and it will be the last for today. And then, of course, we will hang it up here. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me, Mazi? If you can hear me, please tell me, what will I do? What will it take to bring you back from Cambodia? Please go ahead.
Yes, Mazi, thank you very, very much. You're always online. You always bring people closer to what we are expecting or agitating for. Number one is that, you know, as a barrister, you said, and which I quote.
Did I say that to you, Mazi? Did I say that to you? Or is it allegedly? Allegedly.
I put it to you allegedly.
I throw. If you put it to me, I throw it back at you. Please go ahead.
So, just like as I kind of trying to add more kind of my own opinion and understanding towards most of the callers. Number one thing we have to kind of define here or bring a kind of definitions of it is that when you with the kind of when you know exactly what you can or how to differentiate your wants from your needs, you will know exactly who you are, where the umbilical cord connections and your identity comes from. Because when we are saying the word I want right now, many of us, if we ask them exactly what is that thing they actually want in life, you will find out that many of them are conflicting or kind of contradicting their needs with their wants. That is why when you see someone wearing a cloth or fabrics made in Aba, someone that went to the same Onitsha and buy the fabric made in Spain will be a kind of trying to tell him that what you're wearing is a cake. And you see, when I answered Okeke, someone that answered James will start to see me as a kind of maybe this man is coming from a Klankoko land. You know, this name doesn't exist anymore. And baby, if you know exactly what you want and you differentiate it from your need, you'll be able to find out that your culture is the most essential because that is who you are. God that fixed you in that very land know exactly what he wants to use you for and not to emulate others. Because one, if actually we need the Biafra that we all are agitating for right now, we will first of all find out that I am what they call Imamado has to die in our jurisdictions, even in our constitution. And unmerited employees or employers or a kind of try to bring in some because I know you are my schoolmate will no longer be in existence. And at the same time, the kind of Biafra that I actually wanted is a Biafra where everybody will be in the same equal race. A military or a military power will be a kind of will be expired or will be destroyed from the constitutions of the governance in Biafra land. Because let me just tell you, in this very land where I am right now, my house is just, I look from the window and see the house of a governor of this very province where we are right now in Phnom Penh. And they don't move around with police. In the evening like this, they come out with him and his wife and children to patrol, to walk around without any escort. This is the kind of Biafra that I need right now. And it's not a Biafra that when maybe I see someone that comes from America to join Biafra, or maybe a black American will begin to kind of tell him that you are not from this very place. Actually, after all, if not because of the concern of the Biafra, why must you come to this very place to come and rule or to come and take decisions? Biafra that I actually need is a Biafra that everybody we see each other as one, because that is God's own decision here on earth. That is what Biafra is comprises. So that is exactly what I actually need.
All right.
And a Biafra where people will not judge each other just like they judge in Nigeria. You know, they use Nigerian mentality to judge themselves. Even in ourselves right now, you see them using themselves, using Nigerian method or terms to judge people, you know, to judge cases. They will turn white into black and tell you that we are a kind of this the same way. But that is Nigerian system. And you yourself as a lawyer, you know what exactly I mean. So a Biafra is where we call white, and where we call black, because we are whiter than white and whiter than snow. And it takes a sacrifice because white doesn't come easily and white cannot stay in a place of stain. If you went or go to the place that has stains, you have to be extraordinary careful to avoid staining because white doesn't come easily and white cannot stay in a place of stain. If you went or go to the place that has stains, you have to be extraordinary careful to avoid staining that very.
you have for the person we are here with this very evening from here, and I want to